Hi there! Welcome to what's happening in Brazil. Let's start with the latest news from the country.
Cardiologist Marcelo Queiroga was appointed by President Jair Bolsonaro to be the country's new health minister. He will replace General Eduardo Pazuello, who had been in charge of the ministry since May of last year. When the general took over, Brazil had registered around 14,800 COVID-19 deaths. Today, that figure stands at more than 285,000. In his first press conference since being nominated, Marcelo Queiroga defended that Brazil should adopt a uniform treatment protocol, but avoided commenting on the use of medications with no proven efficacy against the virus, like hydroxychloroquine. From the outset of the outbreak, President Jair Bolsonaro has advocated the use of these medications, with the health ministry itself recommending their use at one point. Queiroga defended isolation measures and using face masks, also criticizing needless social gatherings, but did not speak of a nationwide lockdown. The issue of closing down businesses has turned into a tug-of-war between the federal and local state and municipal governments. While states and municipalities have adopted measures to stem the movement of people, Bolsonaro insists that commercial activities should not be halted, even with the pandemic being out of control. Jair Bolsonaro's disapproval rating has reached a record high. A poll published by the Datafolha Institute on March 16th shows that 54% of Brazilians consider the president's handling of the health crisis to be bad or very bad. It's the worst result since pandemic-specific polling began in March of last year. In the previous poll, conducted in January, his disapproval rating was 48%. Those among the population who consider Bolsonaro's handling of the pandemic to be good or very good dropped from 26 to 22%. Furthermore, 43% of those surveyed believe that Bolsonaro is the main culprit behind Brazil's current situation amid the pandemic.
Now let's head to the state of Mato Grosso to check out how the vaccination campaign is going inside indigenous Xingu lands, Brazil's largest demarcated indigenous territory. Almost 6,500 natives from 16 different tribes live there. The protagonism of tribal leaders has been crucial in assuring that vaccines are distributed.
Overcoming precarious logistics and the narrative of denial. These were the challenges faced in order to assure the distribution of vaccines inside the Xingu indigenous territory, located in the state of Mato Grosso. In those parts, getting COVID-19 under control didn't happen merely with measures by the federal government, but mainly through the protagonism of the indigenous population itself.
When the vaccine was approved, there was a huge celebration over the radio, lots of shouting. The community was aware of the danger posed by the disease and conscious of the vaccine.
Cumaré lives in an area with almost 1,000 people, inhabited by 5 different tribes. When he spoke to our newsroom, almost all residents had already received the first dose of the vaccine. One of the factors that explains the efficiency of the vaccination campaign is the presence of indigenous agents and technicians among healthcare providers.
They work throughout the vaccination process, from storing and caring for the vaccine to applying it. They are the ones who give out the shots. They engage in dialogue. A lot of people who weren't gonna take it end up doing so.
Since the start of the pandemic, the territory registered more than 1,000 COVID-19 cases and 16 deaths. In order to raise awareness among the population, the work of tribal elders has been fundamental. They have witnessed the spread of other diseases and know the importance of protecting oneself.
Many people, many of our elders, our leadership, witnessed the smallpox, measles, mumps, and malaria epidemics. Our community has already faced this disease long ago, so we could count on the experiences of our elders. This helped a lot.
However, the vaccination campaign has had to deal with obstacles. Accessing certain villages is hard, only possible by boat. Furthermore, the decision by the federal government to not include indigenous residents who live in cities or territories that are yet to be demarcated puts the immunization process at risk.
This insistence on behalf of the federal government to only vaccinate residents of officially demarcated indigenous lands is excluding a lot of people who are constantly coming back and forth between villages and municipalities. If this part of the population is not being vaccinated, I am increasing the risk of the virus making new inroads into the territory.
Now let's make a stop in the state of Ceará, where we will meet a group of women farmers who are keeping the cultural tradition of the Coco alive.
The drum rhythms of the Coco Women are the stewards of life in the city of Crato, located in southern Ceará state. There resides Master Edith do Coco, who founded and maintains the artistic movement since 1979.
I think of this troupe as a son of mine. I didn't feel the pain of birthing the group, but I feel the love of raising it that I do with my children.
The group is comprised of 17 women farmers, aged between 56 and 84 years old. Their beats are inspired by the life experiences of Master Edith as a farmer, as well as the sounds that accompany her in the fields.
We are all women farmers. On the way to the fields, among the beanstalks, among the falling corn, in the rustle of the leaves, with that rattle, sometimes we take a song we already know. Then everything comes together in a Coco circle.
Having African and indigenous influences, the Coco dance is led by drums and is today performed from the countryside to the coastal regions of the state of Ceará. According to historians, this dance originated from the sounds of coconut shells being split by enslaved blacks. For Mrs. Edith, keeping the troupe alive for so long is an act of love towards her community.
Today we see that the community accepts, supports and values it, because it's the people from the community that make up the group, and we make up the group with the community.
And now it's time for Brazilianism.
Today's recipe has two African ingredients, okra and peanuts. I will be making roasted okra with spicy peanut flour, which can be prepared as a side dish or appetizer. I'm gonna put the okras into a frying pan with no oil. I've set the heat to high. While the okras are getting toasted, I'll make the peanut flour. I'm gonna add the chili peppers here. It's also known as Guinea pepper, yet another ingredient that connects Brazil to Africa. I'm gonna pound the pepper in the mortar, then add grains of black pepper. Now I'll add the peanuts. These peanuts are roasted with no salt. I'll grind them, but you can leave a few bits in. Have a look, the flour is ready. Another thing I'm going to use is a soy sauce reduction. I'll explain how it's made in a minute. To prepare it, all you have to do is mix soy sauce and sugar and cook it till it gets caramelized. I'm going to flip the okras over to roast the other side. Everything is done, I'm gonna get the dish ready. I'm gonna put the roasted okras in. Now a little bit of lemon peels, the soy sauce reduction, a little bit of olive oil, the spicy peanut flour, and I'll wrap things up with chives, some cilantro leaves, and a little bit of salt.
Liked the show? You know what to do. Hit the like button and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive notifications. We'll see you next week.